for us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a Twitter post.
Are you guys going live on Facebook as well?
No.
No, just
We can't really. We
if you
can't really
tag me
do
in
that
the
with. What's
my
up?
bad. If you tag me in the post, I'll add it to my timeline. I have it to where things people tag me in don't wind up on my timeline because a friend's dad was tagging me in like Candy Crush shit, like relentlessly. So I was like, no more.
Do you have a Twitter? Yeah. Do you have a Touch Biloxi Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on most social media accounts is at MushmouthTB. That includes YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
At Mush, there you are.
By the way, I'm gonna check out the Crash Bandicoot episode of Nerd Cave Retro later.
Oh,
Excited.
cool.
Yeah, I started that last night while I was taking a shit. I have to wait until I have to wait until my next shit to finish it.
Man, I've been playing Crash Team Racing, Nitro Kart or whatever, the remake.
Yeah.
That shit is addictive, man. I'm about to get online. I think I'm gonna go pro.
I actually never played Crash Bandicoot before. I've never played one of the Crash Bandicoot
You've never
games.
played any of the Crash Bandicoot games?
No. Damn. I don't know why either.
Dude, Jacob's like 4 years old.
How old am I? Are they before your time? Is that real right now?
Well, no,
at least
because
the good ones.
I played Spyro, but
yeah.
The thing is, Caleb was never into Crash Bandicoot. He was into Spyro, so.
Lol, big bro got to choose.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are we doing today? We're talking about why the prequel trilogy is best. Is that what we're doing?
If you want to.
Yeah. That is exactly why.
No, man, I gotta get on, dude. I gotta get on something at some point to talk about the Matrix trilogy because I'm fucking. I got theories, man.
Hey, let's do another episode on that. Why not?
I'm about it.
Look, the next time we have a guest drop out, I'll just text you.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
Do a Matrix
I'll talk about the fucking Matrix trilogy all day, man. I love like you gotta adhere to 2 things for Matrix Revolutions to be a worth the fuck movie. But when you follow these things, it is a good ass movie. Agent Smith is the one, and Zion is part of the Matrix. That shit makes that movie make perfect fucking sense, dude.
I actually like the third movie. The second one,
I do too.
The second one is just way too. It's like an entire movie of exposition, and
it's indulgent as hell.
Makes no sense whatsoever. It's just
I
actually think the first one it's a classic for sure.
Sure.
Tiny bit overrated. Tiniest bit overrated.
But they got the thing where the camera goes in the circle, man.
Yeah, right. All right, I shared that post and I tagged you in it, Mark.
Yeah,
I tagged
I
tagged your personal page. I didn't. It wouldn't let me.
The personal page is the one.
Yeah, it doesn't let me tag actual pages for some reason.
I don't know what's up with that. I'm so neglectful of my page, dude. Like I do everything on personal.
Me too, dude. Jacob Craig Comedy hasn't posted since the last time I went on the road.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered.
Man.
I haven't even bothered.
What was that, like 2019?
No. Yeah, it actually might have been 2019.
Yeah, dude, you ain't been on the fucking road, man. Not this year. Maybe January.
I went to Anniston. It might have been January or February. I can look at it again. I don't know.
Man, Kobe died on my birthday this year.
Oh no!
I should have known it was all downhill. Like, you know what I mean?
Hey,
I should have known 2020 was gonna be bunk.
Let's save all this for the show.
all right.
This is all good. This is all good stuff.
Want me to open with that? Let's just have like a somber moment. Just Kobe died on my birthday, then we have a moment of silence.
I don't have any silent like taps moments on my soundboard. I do have this. We could give this to Kobe.
Dude, does this look like a bald spot? I gotta fix that. Hold up, man. Let me.
That does look like a bald spot, yeah.
There, is that better?
No. The bald spot was better. We're streaming on Twitch right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Do what?
I was asking if we were streaming on Twitch.
Yes, we are.
Are we live right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's getting this content. Someone.
Hell yeah. This is good content. Shout out Game Grumps.
Oh no.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get you guys sued.
YouTube's getting this content at least.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Not
it's good content, man. You know, you get this in the content. It's good content.
All right, let's
from B-dubs.
Let's go ahead and get this thing started, and we can jump right into it. You guys
All right.
ready?
Sounds good, man. Yeah.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. It is Thursday night, and you know where you need to be, right here, watching the Open Micers podcast. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig.
And I'm going to let you introduce our guest this evening.
Yes, our guest is the great local musician, local rapper, and also podcaster. Please welcome Touch Biloxi, aka Mushmouth.
What is up, everybody?
Thanks for
What's up,
joining us,
man?
my man.
So glad to be here, man. An absolute honor. With the
Hell yeah,
Jays.
dude.
Yeah.
Where better to be than with the Jays?
Well, it's because of
Of
Touch
course.
Biloxi that me and Jacob both got our very first taste of stand-up comedy. It's because of you.
You're
That's
kidding
true.
me.
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
at
we
one of
both-
the fucking parties I throw where I get really loaded, right?
Yep.
Yes, it was. That was the one. It was at Zeppelin's.
Mhm.
And in
Oh my
2017, both me and
Zeppelin's was one of the
Jason-
better ones.
It was, but let me tell you why it was still bad. So,
Okay.
uh,
Ooh,
Me
it was
and
that
Jason-
fucking... Oh, the shit-talking contest that went on way too long, right?
yeah, there was that, and also me and Jason, we made our stand-up debuts, and during someone's set, I don't remember if it was me, Wally, or Jason. You were drunk out of your mind, and you sat down at someone's table and finished the onion rings that they left.
Look, man, those onion rings were fair game.
Dude,
And
later, I tracked down those people. I met them at the Kraken, and we started talking. And they were like, "Hey, I saw you do your first set," and I asked them, "Whoa, did you by chance order onion rings?" They were like, "Yeah, we did order onion rings."
Look, man, I think you... Didn't I see you and him at a show one night? Like, I feel like you introduced me to that guy, man.
No, I sent you a picture of him, and I was like, "Hey, do you know this guy?" You're like, "No." I was like, "You ate his fucking onion rings," and you're like, "Yo!"
Dude, I feel like I spoke to him about it because I remember telling somebody that like the nation of Simonia accepts your gift of onion rings or whatever. Something corny.
You might have met him at some other point. But with the music scene kind of being dead right now, and a lot of bars not doing anything, what have you been doing as far as music and podcasting and stuff since COVID?
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with the PS4 Pro. I've been taking time to tend my garden, both metaphorically and literally. I grow peppers. I've been giving out pepper sauces to friends of mine that make with habanero, and that's been a lot of fun to do. Online shows have been a big thing in my life right now. Just people streaming over Facebook, giving us that content. It's unfortunate that it has to happen this way, but it's been nice to see people kind of like jamming in their own spaces.
Yeah. I got asked to do a couple of different like online comedy shows and stuff, but they kind of fallen through. But I think I don't know. I tried to do some stuff where we record. I think Jacob did it too, where we record the online open mic stuff. And it's so weird to do. It's so weird.
I know I've seen some stuff without a crowd, and it's just like the crowd is that element. You know what I mean? That it just makes everything pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, I did a sure enough streaming show on Zoom with a bunch of East Coast people, and I thought like, man, I got to really step up my game. Like I'm doing this with some East Coast guys, and East Coast
Biggie
is
Smalls represent.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a huge comedy scene over there, and I will say that I kind of murdered all of them.
Okay.
It was not a good show at all, and the host lit me early because I made a pedophile joke,
Oh my god, man.
and I'm like, the point
Was
of the
this
joke
before or after Epstein?
after, but that's beside the point. All right, the point of the joke wasn't even pedophilia. The point of the joke was McDonald's workers. You know the
Well,
joke I'm
that
talking
puts
about.
a whole
Jason.
new light on it. I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think I've done that joke 100 times in person, and no one's ever been offended by it.
Yeah.
I've
You guys
done that
may
joke
see the
with
tail of
children
my
in the
cat
room.
jumping around. Yeah.
That's fine. We have so many cats on this podcast, dude.
Good. What? Man,
Talk,
doing shit.
talk about your streaming a little bit. What have you been doing with your podcast and your game streaming?
Well, I've been sort of just doing Let's Plays. Been doing there was a really wonderful fan-made port of Super Mario 64 for the PC. It is hands down the best way to play the game, and that's saying something because that's a fun game to play however the fuck you get to it. But it cuts down a lot of lag time and a lot of levels, things like that. Loading times are great. HD textures, widescreen, love it, man. I've also been doing a run through of Pokemon that I need to get back to, but I was fortunate enough to do a stream with Kinetic Fiction's latest album a few Saturdays ago. And for those who don't know out there, Kinetic Fiction is a I don't know, maybe the electronic alternative musical act. I'm not sure how to classify them, but their new album, Super Premium, is really wonderful. I was really glad to be able to take a first look at that. They asked me to do that, and I was very honored.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, dude. How do people find this if they want to follow you on Facebook or whatever?
So, I am Retro Mush on everything gaming related. I believe I have a Retro Mush Twitch. I haven't done anything on it, but Retro Mush Facebook is where I'm sort of earning my stripes as a streamer right now before I really branch out into anything. I have some bigger ideas for maybe doing game reviews, things like that, but it's still a ways off for now. My biggest concern lately has been working on getting Frets for Pets going well.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Jason are actually going to be on that show August 1st and 2nd. We were going to plug it at the end, but we'll plug it at the beginning too.
Hey man,
but...
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're very happy to have you, man. Two talented and handsome sons of bitches, man.
Undoubtedly. I mean, the best looking comedians on the Gulf Coast.
So is that going to be totally online this year, or what is that exactly going to happen with it?
Obviously, COVID-19 threw a real wrench in the planning process, and we were considering not doing it at all. But I spoke with Dimitri, the president of Frets for Pets, for those who don't know, and we decided to give it a shot doing an online show, and the response has been pretty good. We've had submissions from acoustic artists, heavier rock acts. I know there's going to be at least one rap submission, a couple of DJs, and like you guys said, comedy. It should be a good show with Rushmore hosting one day and The Sound hosting the second day.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's what really caught me. I think that's the best way to do it, is to have, hosting. It's not like an actual person. It's the two biggest podcasts on the coast.
Yeah. Well,
each day.
Well, two biggest podcasts for now, man. I know Open Micers is coming up.
Oh yeah, we're coming up. We're coming for that Rushmore spot.
Now that you've got Mark Simmons on the show, I mean, think about Rushmore hasn't had Mark Simmons yet. You guys are in on it. You guys are in on it.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting Ari Shaffir. We got Mark Simmons. I mean,
who's really taking the L there? Come on.
Yeah. Mark Simmons never dosed anybody, as far as I know.
Yeah.
No one can prove it.
Not as far as anyone knows.
No one remembers.
That's a horrible joke.
It is a horrible joke. You should probably stay low for a while. I think so. I think I've been canceled for a while.
It's okay, man.
There's no way I talk this much shit and I'm not canceled.
Reboots are heavy now, man. The people are all about it.
Yeah, that's true. What are they rebooting now?
Just reboot, huh?
What's the newest reboot? What is Ghostbusters? Are they rebooting that?
Yeah, Ghostbusters is coming out probably like next year. Didn't they push it back?
Yeah, because I think it was supposed to come out July 4th weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I thought so.
Probably. So. Can I say something? I think I'm the only person that saw the 2016 Ghostbusters in theaters multiple times. I enjoyed that movie. Why do people hate that movie?
I liked it. I didn't think it was so bad. I thought some of the Chris Hemsworth stuff was gold.
That's some of the funniest shit in a Ghostbusters movie is the shit he's doing. The only thing I had a problem with, and spoiler warning for this like 4-year-old movie, anybody out there, but they're not like really ghosts. He has like some kind of machine that's like pulling shit from another dimension or something. That tripped me out. That seemed like an unnecessary plot contrivance, but god damn it, I liked it, man.
My biggest problem was that they didn't set it in the same universe as the original Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, and they had everybody but Harold Ramis in.
Yeah. And I'm like, if you're gonna do that, call it something else. Like, why does it have to be Ghostbusters if you're not gonna put it in the same universe as the original movie?
Yeah, and they were talking about, because everything gets a franchise now, at least on paper, before it flops. They were talking about doing like a connected Ghostbusters universe and stuff, which was weird because again they had the original Ghostbusters cast in as unconnected characters.
Yeah, but I'm interested in the new one because it's a direct sequel to the
Yeah, I'm
original.
into it.
So yeah, and even though people hate part two, I still love part two. I think part two is great.
Yeah, I love part two, dude. I used to watch that all the time growing up, man. I like part two. I watched more than one.
It's Vigo. Like, how can you?
Isn't Finn Wolfhard gonna be in the new one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
And
He's
Paul
great.
Rudd.
And Paul Rudd. Yeah, he's gonna be in
Oh
it.
shit, we got Ant-Man in there.
Yep.
Both of America's sweethearts.
that's all of them right there, like two peas in a pod in a movie.
Speaking of part two, have either of you guys played The Last of Us yet?
No.
No, I haven't played the first one.
Oh, you fucking nerds, dude.
I don't want to play anything that's gonna like send me down a depression spiral. So I try to avoid that.
I'm just thinking Crash Team Racing and Monster Hunter, man.
Like, we're doing top 5 video games right now, tonight.
Oh yeah.
Not right now, but later tonight. And
Right now.
I really wish I finished this game before I wrote this list. It is the best game I've ever played.
I've heard a lot of divisive criticism, but I'm sure a lot of it's just sort of initial outrage. Oh, a thing changed,
Yeah, the outrage that comes from it is definitely just people who expected a certain story. If you go in with an open mind, it has the kind of writing that wins Oscars.
Yeah.
It is
so it's
amazing.
the empire of the series so far.
Yeah,
strong second movie.
Fucking amazing, dude.
Okay.
But if you go into it wanting to play the more of the first game, you're gonna fucking hate it. You're not gonna get more of the first game.
You want to talk about a good story-based game, man? Have you guys played Detroit Become Human?
No, I haven't played that either.
Oh my god, let me if I could take a minute here, let me tell you my Detroit Become Human story. I was hanging out at a girl's house. This was some time ago. And we dropped acid overnight, and I accidentally let a character die. And it was the female character. Accidentally, for anyone who knows, this is how fucking terrible I am. I accidentally let her die in the first scene. And anyone who knows that scene knows that it is a brutal scene. Like, you know not to let her die, and I just kind of, like, tripped out and let it fuck up. But so my story was about the two other lead characters as sort of a dichotomy of each other, where one represented justice and order, and the other one represented freedom and liberation and shit, man. And like it ended with an assassination attempt. I don't want to spoil one of the 200 endings for anyone out there who might get it, but god damn, I had a great time with that game, man.
I love story-based games. I need to play that.
The last one
that
I
played, by the way, over 200 endings, man.
The last one I played that was a story-based game was Uncharted 4, and that game was excellent.
Yes,
I gotta get into the Uncharted series. That seems fun as hell.
Have you guys seen that they cast Mark Wahlberg as Sully in the Uncharted movies?
What?
Mark fucking Wahlberg as Sully. The old guy with the white hair and the cigar? Mark Wahlberg, of course. Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, why not Mark Wahlberg?
Like, I understand
I mean, if not Mark Wahlberg, Channing Tatum. I can see that too.
For sure.
Obviously.
It's like, I understand they're doing young Nathan Drake because Tom Holland's playing Nathan Drake. But even in the flashbacks in Uncharted 4, Sully never looked like Mark Wahlberg.
I don't think that movie is going to be good, man. But I love Tom Holland. I'm happy to see him in anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Best Spider-Man. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to alienate the Raimi fans. Best Spider-Man.
Oh, he is for sure the best Spider-Man. But anyone who says Maguire's the best Spider-Man just says it out of nostalgia.
I still think Spider-Man 2 is the better movie, though.
I argue this a lot, and right now I'm on the favor that it is the better movie, but that I still love Far From Home more because I love Mysterio, man. Ever since the Spider-Man 2 video game, the movie game, you like that boss fight with Mysterio where it like loads up 5 health bars and then you swing one punch at him and he goes flying and like you beat him. Like, I thought it was the funniest thing in that whole game.
Oh, man. I did play the last Spider-Man game too. That was a story-based game. Have you guys played that?
Oh yeah,
gotta get that.
I want the new one for PS5. Yeah. They're doing Miles Morales.
Yeah. Isn't it gonna be DLC or something?
No, it's a new game, isn't it?
I don't know, dude. There's been conflicting reports about that.
No,
I really think it's a new game.
I think it's basically a part 2. But it takes place in the same, I guess, story. I'm not sure. You're right. There is kind of conflicting like stories.
It's definitely
about
the same universe because during the events of Spider-Man PS4, Miles gets bit by the spider.
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
So-
spoilers.
And if Miles in the game, he gets bit by the fucking spider.
Yeah, like why are they gonna put Miles in if it's not?
Exactly.
Or you get those old school Spider-Man fans that are like, "Who the hell is Miles Morales?"
I don't know.
What do you guys
man.
think about the Avengers game coming out?
I think it looks shitty, but I bet it's gonna be good.
I like Square Enix and always have, but they stumble here and there lately. I've heard the Final Fantasy 7 remake is good, but I'm not a 7 head, man. I'm an 8 head, but we'll get to that.
I was not impressed with what they showed for the reveal. Was it last week or week before? I wasn't
did they do a new reveal?
Huh? Yeah, they showed some
See, I didn't
video
see
of it
that.
and everything, and I was not impressed with it.
Did they show a lot of pre-rendered footage again?
No, they actually showed some gameplay, but
Okay.
I don't know. You can go back and look at it on YouTube, but I
Sure.
was not impressed with it that much.
I think they went way out of their way to make everyone look not like the MCU characters.
Yeah.
When the thing
Yeah.
is, the MCU casting, those characters look exactly like the comic book characters.
Yeah,
So making them not
It's
look like
weird.
them makes them not look like the comic book characters.
Yeah.
they're trying to like really visually tell the audience this isn't in this universe, but it's just kind of I don't know, uncanny valley a little bit. Yeah.
It's
I
weird
don't
because honestly, I would much rather, if they're going to do something like that, I'd much rather them have a more, instead of trying to make them look like real people that aren't the real actors because they don't have enough money to get the licensing rights for those people, then why not make them more stylized, like look like you're playing a comic book, like
Yeah.
instead of trying to make it like
Yeah.
realistic.
There's nothing wrong with playing a game that looks animated. We know it's fucking animated.
Yeah.
Interjection here. Comic Zone remake win.
I love Comic Zone, dude. I did a review of that for Nerd Cave Retro a couple months
Nice.
ago.
I'll have to go check that out.
Dude, that game is so freaking good. I'm like,
Very underrated.
why have there never been more games like this? It's literally like you're playing a comic book.
There's been some good stuff that's been done with cell shading, but I don't think anything that really uses like comic book properties, you know what I mean, to full
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
If you could
I
have,
do like cell shading.
one comic book property to actually make a game out of, what would it be?
Yo, I want to make a Space Ghost movie, but in that vein, I would probably make a Space Ghost game.
Is Brack
I'm
going to
good,
be
I've
a
got-
playable character? I would rather play Brack in that scenario.
Dude, no, I want to make it like super serious, like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of aesthetic, like type shit, man.
Oh, that'd be
like-
awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, I want to make a heavy-handed Space Ghost movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's about time, in my opinion, for the Justice League Dark universe to be on the big screen.
I'm ready.
Because-
Yeah.
A Justice League Dark movie has been in production hell since 2009.
Yeah. They're bringing Constantine back, right? With Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
I know
no.
he's part of Dark.
I think they're talking about doing another one with him. I like that movie. I don't see what people have
No,
such
I remember
problem with
not hating it. I haven't seen it in years, but yeah,
I-
I don't remember hating it.
I love that movie. It's wonderful if you don't look at it as a Hellblazer movie,
it. Yeah.
if you just look at it as something different. But I think J.J. Abrams is talking about doing a new Constantine movie, not with Keanu Reeves, like a
Oh,
new
man.
actor, a rebooted thing.
Keanu Reeves is hot right now, though.
He
Yeah.
is
Gotta get
hot.
him in everything, man.
I don't know. I think people really do want to see now. They want to see Hellblazer Constantine on a movie.
I think
Yeah.
that would actually make a pretty good video game too, like sort of like an Alan Wake type of game, but with Hellblazer. Like
yeah. Well, they
that
made a
atmosphere.
Constantine game for the movie, and it's
Ugh.
absolute dog shit. I bought it off.
Wait, they made a Constantine video game for that movie?
Yeah, they did. It's horrible. You can't see anything. It's so dark.
Dude,
Wow.
I expect more from the Over the Hedge video game than that.
I played that.
I did
Oh
too.
my gosh.
Surprisingly, not the worst. Not
Oh,
good,
yeah.
but not the worst.
I'd like to have
Okay.
an open world kind of weird Sandman game. You know, Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I think that would be
Oh,
a
dude.
pretty cool game to go in that world of the dreaming and all that. I think
I
that'd
feel
be
like you
pretty
could get some like indie developers in on that. Do
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a minimalist concept that gets really artsy.
Yeah.
You know, like once you get more into the dream and everything.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Where's our money? Where's our video game money? We're coming up with good
That's
ideas
right.
here.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right. So before we get into our lists, Mark, we need to talk about how you actually got started in the music industry. So walk us through your journey to getting to be the musician you are now.
All right. Thousands of years ago, I was born into this shit. I didn't ask for this life. This life asked for me. No. I started recording my own music when I was 17 with like Audacity and like the shittiest webcam mic you can possibly imagine. But once I learned that I could track shit together, I was on from there. And sometime later, I started playing live music. I want to say around 2010, I got my start. The first show I played down here was at Bear's Stagecoach, that joint in Ocean Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to call that
No,
place the Chuck Wagon because I never could remember the name of it.
Oh man, I got up there with some veterans, you know, like cover band musicians in their 50s, man, and did all along the Watchtower with them. Very exciting stuff, man. But then the Squeaky Lizard was where I found sort of my place in the music scene and really grew. And I gotta shout out Tanya and Lance and Chris and the dead homie Tom for that, because I wouldn't be the man I am today if I hadn't had the support I had from the Squeaky Lizard coming up. And a lot of musicians I've talked to can say the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Squeaky Lizard is actually where I was supposed to make my comedy debut. I was 14 years old, and my brother frequented there with, I don't remember which band.
I used to play with Caleb all the time.
Oh yeah, and I think that's where you two met. Actually, was the Squeaky.
Yeah, that
right?
makes sense.
And he doesn't fucking remember. And
yeah, I don't remember. Just like me and Caleb have known each other since some vague point in the early 2010s.
Yeah. But I was supposed to make my debut there when I was like 14 because I was writing material and everything. And the week I went, my brother was going to.
Could have been the comedy Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
I could have been, dude. But the week my brother was going to take me to the Squeaky, they actually announced that they were going to shut down.
Oh man,
yeah,
I never
bringing me
went.
down, Ruse.
Hey, if I did it then, I probably wouldn't be doing it now, man, because I would have sucked way worse than when I was 17.
Yeah, but you never
I will
know.
say this. I opened for some amazing acts at the Squeaky Lizard, including Coffin Cats, X-Ray Vision, Green Jelly, and of course, Afro Man.
Yeah.
I will never let the world forget. I opened for Afro Man before he punched that lady.
Yes, talk about opening for Afro Man before he punched that lady. You opened with him. You opened for him with my brother, actually. You and Caleb both opened for
Yeah,
Afro.
he was my hype man. We were doing a rap show because Afro Man. I'm not gonna jump up with the acoustic guitar, dude. That night, first of all, that was a great night, dude. That's still a highlight. I've done some good shows since then. Don't get me wrong, man, but that's still a highlight for me. We fucking filled our pockets with Monopoly money, man, and money from Life, the game, and we fucking just we made it rain all over the place with Monopoly money, man. We got lit up.
I opened up for Afro Man back in 2001 at a bar in Biloxi.
Of course you did.
Called the Double Deuce, and this was when he had When I Got High first came out, you know, for the Jay and Silent Bob soundtrack, and we got to open up for him. And I'm sitting at the bar just kind of chilling out, waiting for the show, and he comes walking in, and he comes saunters right up next to the bar next to me, and I looked down, I was like, "What's up, Afro Man?" And he looked at me and he just went, "Buck-ah!" I was like, "All right, then."
That sounds right, dude.
So I'm the only person on this podcast that hasn't met Afro Man.
Yeah, you got to get in there, man. Maybe wait a couple of years. You might still be kind of hot right now.
Yeah.
But fun fact, Afro Man didn't see my set, man. He showed up like 2 hours into the evening in a van with a 6-pack of Colt 45, smoking weed and taking pictures with people next to the van.
Yeah.
Like he was a realist, man. Like he was just vibing, man. Like solidly.
Yeah.
We should get Afro Man on this podcast before he's safe to do things again.
I'm all about it. Yeah, you guys could be the reinvention, man. Bring Afro Man back. You know, the funny thing is after the incident, he released a remix of Because I Got High, but it's like the positive remix. And it's just like
What?
all you did was re-release your best hit, but be like, I don't usually hit women because I get high. It's just, I don't know, man. It just feels like kind of a shit show response.
That's
And that poor
weird.
bastard, because fucking Crest Live, who we all know and love, it didn't have security that night, like going, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how are you gonna have a show during the middle of Mardi Gras and not
Yeah.
have security?
And I don't defend him punching a woman. I'm not with that shit at all. But he had no idea who was up on him and what they were doing, and so I would have been weirded out. I wouldn't have thrown hands immediately, but
Yeah.
I would have been weirded out. That's one thing that really gets me about the video is that the moment she touches him, he fucking swings, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like she threw the pitch in baseball.
Yeah.
we need to ask Afro Man why he hit that bitch.
Well, I mean, after Dimebag Daryl, what happened to him on stage? It's kind of like
Oh my god.
he ain't letting nobody on stage these days. Not after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he
So
died of
I
COVID,
get it.
didn't he?
Oh, who? Dimebag Daryl? No, he got his head
I'm
blown off on
joking, man.
stage, man.
No, I know. Hey, fun fact about that, man. When that happened, I was like in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, man, and our history teacher started the class. He looked depressed as shit, genuinely, and he was like, "Hey guys, do you guys know who Pantera is?" And like, nah, man, I was listening to fucking Ja Rule and shit, you know. But he's like, "Yeah, so their guitarist got shot yesterday, so I'm just gonna be at my desk, just kind of relaxing." I was like, "All right, man."
That's the
Whatever,
most
it was-
early 2000 story I've ever heard.
Yeah, dude, and we got a free period in history 'cause
Nice.
he was bummed out. Shout out Mr. King, man, you the
Yeah.
realest. I saw him at a library computer years after that, and he did not look happy.
Wow.
now I'm calling you out, Mr. King. Why weren't you happy in 2008?
That was 2004, actually. That was 16 years ago.
No, I mean years later at the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
All
never
right,
got
guys.
lucky enough to have a teacher so sad that I got a whole period off because
Dude, oh my god, fuck all these teachers, dude. We had this teacher and oh my god, dude, no, let's go on. Let's talk about Mark's childhood for a second. We had this bitch whose name was Miss Woodcock, okay? And then she got married. I did 8th grade twice, so I took her class twice, man. I did 8th grade and 9th grade twice. Champion of 8th and 9th grade right here. But fucking her name was Woodcock, dude, when I did 8th grade the first time. And then she got married, and her name was Cockrell. She had cock in her name both times. And when I'm fucking an 8th grader, dude. That's the funniest shit in the world, man.
that's just bad luck.
Yeah,
My
man.
comedian brain instantly was about to be like, okay, he's just doing a bit right now. It's like,
No,
she
dude,
got
I'm
married-
serious.
She got married again, man, and her last name was Dick Penis.
Dick penis. Might as well have been, man.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, let's get on with our list tonight,
All right.
guys.
All right.
We compiled a top 5 list. We like to do lists with our guests, and tonight Mark Simmons wanted to do his top 5 video games because we are all video game enthusiasts. Mark, why don't you tell us your number 5 on your top 5 video games?
Okay, I'm gonna start with a classic, a favorite, a remake. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for the GameCube, which for me is a child raising simulator hidden in a game about a fast animal. So, like, have you guys played Sonic Adventure 2 by any chance?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
Well, there's a mechanic in it called the Chow Garden. You pick up things in the stages and give them to your Chow, and then they level up, and it's a little meta game within the game. You know what I mean? You make them do karate, they can fight each other and race and shit. It's pretty brutal. A lot of shit goes down at the Chow fights. But on top of that, Rouge really awakened my sexuality. You know what I mean?
No.
Pull that up. Go ahead. Pull up Rouge, this character, dude.
Uh,
Fucking,
Jamie,
I had seen.
pull it up.
Jamie, pull that up. I had seen video game titties before, but it was like Tomb Raider, where it's like 7 triangles making up a chest. You know what I mean?
Give
But
me that
these things-
tissue box.
These things are fucking orbulous, man. She got big titty, and I like it.
Can we screen share on Discord?
Yeah, you can. But
Please tell me what you found. Oh my god, dude! I just realized I sent you
haven't-
googling for Rouge the Bat.
it's
I
gonna
haven't
look
found
weird
anything.
on my end, though.
Rouge the Bat.
Yeah,
Let me
She's just a
open.
bat
Google.
with huge tits, man.
Can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and look for fucking Rouge the Bat real quick and try to screen.
I'll keep rambling then. It introduced Shadow the Hedgehog, which is the edgy rival to Sonic the Hedgehog, who gets guns later in life.
Bro, I totally know who the fuck you're talking about because I watched Sonic X the anime,
Oh my god, dude, love Sonic X.
and this is like, yes, this is definitely. All right, let me see if I can do this right. Turn on screen share.
And then the bonus costume for her, which you could only get by acing every single mission she had, was a fucking biker outfit. And you know little Mark had to get that biker outfit.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jacob,
Can you guys see this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
This is
there it is. Yeah, that's 10-year-old Mark's furry crush right there.
All right, now we just close that out and turn off screen share.
Uh-oh. We're gonna see your Pornhub if you're not careful.
Oh, there we go.
Bro, I do that shit on my phone. What the fuck you talking about?
Dude, phonesterbating is not hot, man. That ain't it.
What do you? Jason has a bit about that. One of Jason's first bits is about who the fuck watches porn on a computer anymore.
First of all, I like to go two-handed. You know what I mean? I like to really get in there. How can you do that while you're holding a phone?
Bro, I'm white. I don't have enough cock for two hands. I have giant fucking mitts and a 5.5-inch penis. What the fuck am I gonna do with that?
I almost said I'll give you some if you need it, but then I realized what the fuck I was saying.
I don't want that, bro. All right, Jason, what's your number 5 video game?
My number 5, if you look right behind me, is Super Mario Brothers 3. It's still to this day is one of my favorite games of all time. I love it, and I get goosebumps when I watch the Wizard and they do the Super Mario Brothers 3 reveal. I love it, and from that moment on, I've loved that game.
Bro, the Wizard is bad.
Yeah,
which means
you guys told me to watch that, and I didn't.
Dude, you need.
I think I made a Wizard reference, but I'm not sure. But
are you
about to look
up Wizard?
What's that?
What are you looking up, Jason? What are you looking up? What's going on in that big, bald, beautiful head of yours?
I am talking to people in the chat room.
Oh, what they saying? We'll put them on the show. What they saying?
His name
ask
is.
Ask them who their furry crushes are.
Alameo.
Let's get a full-on degeneracy in the chat.
The name is Alameo Koei, and he says he doesn't speak English, and sorry if he says something wrong. I said that's okay.
I love you already, Alameo Koei.
He said, "Are we talking about video games?" I said, "Yes, our 5 favorite video games," and he said his favorite is Crash Bandicoot.
That's rad, man. Hell yeah.
All right, we were talking about that before the show started.
Yeah.
So my number 5 video game is one that I discovered recently, obviously. It's the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, dude, you stole my number 4.
Fuck you. Well, we can combine the two into one conversation, so that way we can.
Okay, yeah.
I
still love the original, too. And the remake is just blew my mind, man.
Yeah, see, I haven't played the original. I replaced my original experience with the 2 remake. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, this is the first Resident Evil game I ever played.
Good
and
choice.
I got it. I picked it up just because when it came out, I heard everyone talking about it. Everyone talking about how good it was. Everyone talking about how you have to play it. And so I was like, all right, there was so much hype behind this. I'll pick it up. I'll play it. And dude, the lore behind this video game series, every fucking note you pick up provides to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, play any other video game. Play The Last of Us. Pick up a note and just put it in your fucking backpack. There's nothing on that note. There's nothing that contributes to anything. Resident Evil series, everything you read is important.
Hell yeah.
And it blew my fucking mind, dude. I loved it. It got me into the whole series. I played the 3 remake, 4. I'm playing the first one right now. I bought Resident Evil 6 today. This turned me onto the whole fucking series.
Dude,
good, man.
Resident Evil 2, for the longest time, was still my favorite video game of all time. I had it on the Nintendo 64, and man, I played that thing
They did some good work on that cartridge.
Dude, I played it so many times. I could beat it in under 3 hours every time I
Nice.
played it. And then when they came out with the remake, that was my most anticipated game of, was it last year or late 2018? When
It was
um,
2017.
Did it live
actually.
up to your expectations?
oh, dude, it surpassed my expectations. I mean, they
Okay.
took what was there with the original, so you still remember all the environments and all that stuff, but they just like, I don't know, they just cranked it up to 11 and just made it so much better. And it was just like, I love being in that world, man. Something about that game. Like, I love, my favorite ones are 2 and 4. I still haven't played 6 yet. I still need to play that.
I just picked
wasn't-
it up if you want to borrow it after I'm
yeah,
done.
I wasn't a huge fan of 5, but I still think 2 and 4 are the best Resident Evil games.
4,
Yeah.
I know, gets a lot of good reviews. I haven't played any Resident
Yeah.
Evil since like, I mean, I played 1 and 2 and 3 like back in the day, you know, but
Yeah, I looked it up after I had played 4. I played it just because I wanted to play the whole series. And I looked it up, and on the Wikipedia, it even says that it's hailed as one of the greatest video games of all time.
Yeah, I had
And
it
I'm
on
like,
GameCube. That's what I
Seriously?
played.
I just played one of the greatest video games of all time.
Yeah, I was thinking about like, picking it up on the Switch too, because they did a remaster, not a complete remaster, but just kind of like a, a redo of it for the Switch.
I would say wait, because that's the next remake they're doing is
Yeah, I
4.
know that game's so
oh
good.
shit.
I hate
But,
the movies. They screwed the movies up so bad. Well, let's not get
Oh.
into that.
Yeah. They're rebooting those now, so I hope they reboot them correctly.
At
Yeah.
least the Final Fantasy movie was good.
Oh, that movie was so weird.
The movie's not good. I have it on DVD though. Love it.
I saw it in the theater, and I think that's where my hatred of Final Fantasy comes from.
No, how can you hate Final Fantasy?
Bro, you
I
must
can-
have
I can-
not
I can
seen...
guess.
You haven't seen any episodes of this podcast. Jason talks about how much he hates Final Fantasy
Oh
on-
shit.
on this podcast and Nerd Cave Retro.
Yeah. I hate
But,
the
so
number
Which
system.
one do you hate the most?
All
What's
of
your,
them.
what's your least favorite fantasy?
He's never played them.
I've never played any of
Oh
them.
shit! How do you hate them?
Because I'm not going to
You know
play a
what?
game that doesn't know what number it is.
That's so true. Okay, Mark.
How
Mark,
can you
what-
have a 10
what-
too? Do
No,
I
Mark, what's your number 4? What's your number
Um,
4, Mark?
gotta go with a favorite here? Another classic at this point, Oblivion, and I think it's a great. Like there were more things you could do with your character in Morrowind, and then less in Oblivion, and then even less in Skyrim. And I think Oblivion is the good medium between those two. Plus, I love Oblivion's story. There are some mechanics I like better in Oblivion than Skyrim. And I gotta say, the Flame Atronach just really awoken my sexuality, man. Like just
You
like
say that about
a
everything.
woman on solid fire. And I've been thinking about it lately, and I think you could get in there if you had 20% fire resistance on every piece of armor, and then drank a draught of cooling. You could probably fuck for like 3 minutes. Like you probably, you know.
Hey, that's all I need.
Yeah, exactly. Get in, get out, bam, boom.
I didn't get into Oblivion because I played it after Skyrim, or I tried playing it after Skyrim, and it was so low res, even on
Yeah,
the.
when you go back, yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out how to pick locks, and then I quit.
Oh man, the lockpicking mechanic is superior in Skyrim, but it was weird because it's like the same one in I think Fallout 3.
Yeah.
So I was
Fallout
just kind of
3
tripped
as
out.
well.
I was just kind of tripped out about it.
So my number 4 is Red Dead Redemption 2. Because I love Red Dead Redemption, the first one, and I think that in many ways it probably is the best game in the series, but I play games for the story aspect. And Red Dead Redemption 2 has such a thick, long, just hard and shiny story. I
How
mean,
hairy is the story?
it gets hairy. Oh, the
Okay.
story gets hairy, boy.
I like a hairy
like-
story.
It's so like you play like when you think the story's over, you just play as a different character. That's how
Dude.
fucking intense it is. It's a lot. I will say Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us 2 reminded me so much of Red Dead Redemption 2. and story mechanics and gameplay a little bit. Red Dead Redemption 2 is obviously much more free roam. Like you can have adventures after you beat it, which is another reason to love it. But yeah, man, just whenever that game came out, it was the shit for a reason.
Yeah, it was everywhere. That's for sure.
So, Jason, we covered your number 4 with Resident Evil 2. So what's your number 3, Mark?
Okay, so this is one people like the sequel more for some reason, but for me, Arkham Asylum does so much, man. Just good. I don't know if necessarily innovative combat, but damn precise and good combat feel, good game feel. Batman has weight, and that's something I think Batman games have always been good at, even back to like the NES Batman game. You know what I mean? Like there was weight in that movement, and that's really great. One thing I love, expansive maps are a cool thing. Big maps are a cool thing. I'm not knocking big maps, but with everything that Arkham Asylum does with such a small map, it's beautiful to me. Yeah. Every room of every building in that map is used. You know, kind of like the note system.
That game and Mass Effect 2 are the only 2 games I've ever 100%ed. Because
I gotta get into some of the bonus content.
I went after every Riddler trophy, everything I could possibly go after.
Yeah,
I 100%ed it too. I 100%ed all the Batman games.
I also want to say Harley Quinn awoken my sexuality. She's the toxic pixie dream girl that I need in my life. I think I will say this. Honestly, Harley Quinn is one of my favorite Batman characters, and it's very, very, very male to say that, I think. But I think she's so underused in the Arkham series because there are aspects of Harley Quinn that aren't portrayed well. For instance, like she's very smart, man. No one ever thinks of that. She's one of the only characters that can get in and out of Arkham at will.
Yeah.
Just like I never think Harley Quinn is like written as good as she could be. I think she's a very wonderful character. Played well by Margot Robbie, but in some subpar movies.
Yeah.
Have you seen the DC Universe series, Harley Quinn?
Yes.
That is a good series.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think that does a really good portrayal, which Harley's kind of a bitch sometimes in that series, but
I love it, dude. I love it. You're talking about the one, the new cartoon with Poison Ivy and everything?
Yeah.
I'm not caught up on the last 3 episodes, so please no spoilers. But yeah, that's one of my favorite fucking things on television right now. The writing's so clever. The characterizations are great. I love that Bane is a punk. Like, I love that everybody punks on Bane. He's just like, oh, I wish I had a chair. Like, just,
yeah.
I love
I love how King Shark is the most human character.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fight anybody, like he's a hacker.
Dude, I love hating Dr. Psycho, who I had to think of his name for a minute, because in my head and in real life, I call him Dr. Cunt Guy, because that's his nickname.
Yeah. So what's your number 3, Jason?
My number 3 is Mass Effect 2. I think Mass Effect 2 is one of the most absolutely perfect video games that's ever been made. And like I said, I 100%ed it. I played every single piece of DLC they came out for it. And I still love the whole Mass Effect series. I loved the ending. I don't know why people had so much trouble with Mass Effect 3. But Mass Effect 2 just was perfect. Like, they're just... Man, that game kept me engaged.
But did you do the lesbian sex scene?
Of course.
Okay. That's what matters, man. That really awoken my sexuality.
Oh, man.
You're going to create a drinking game for this podcast and send someone to the hospital.
If I can start anyone to drinking, I've done my job.
So, my number 3 is very similar to yours, Mark Simmons. My number 3 is Batman Arkham City Game of the Year edition.
Yes.
I liked Arkham Asylum, but I don't think it's as good as Arkham City, baby.
I hear you. No, that's a general consensus.
It sets up it lays the bricks for the whole series. Arkham Asylum does, and then Arkham City.
How are you gonna out Origins like that, man?
Origins can suck my dick. Origins was the worst fucking game. How can it be in the past and Batman has better gadgets? What the fuck? He forgot gadgets going to the asylum? Batman doesn't forget gadgets.
Maybe he fell off of too many buildings, just kind of got conked out of them.
Oh. No. Arkham Knight sucked too, dude. Fuck that game.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge. I got Arkham Knight for the PS4 when I first got it, and that game, I never finished it. It's just.
It wasn't good because I knew I knew before I bought the game that Arkham Knight was Jason Todd.
Oh, dude, you motherfucker.
You can't trick me.
I'm working my way through City right now, you bastard.
Hey Mark, have you ever read a comic book? If you
Hey,
ever read a comic book, you know it's Jason Todd.
the only comic book I've ever read is Lost Girls, okay? And that's why I'm a creep.
Did that wait? Did that awaken your sexuality?
No.
No.
Distance
But-
myself from that statement.
I didn't even elaborate on Arkham City. I loved the art throughout that entire game, where you literally start as Bruce Wayne in Arkham City, and you
Yeah,
have
that's a
to kind
good
of-
opening.
you have to work your way up. You have to
Yeah.
get the bat suit. You have to get the gadgets. You have to fight fucking everybody. And the story itself, it is a better story than Arkham Asylum. The boss of Arkham Asylum is a 10-foot tall Joker who's doped up on Venom.
It was a
What the
fun
fuck is
fight,
that?
but it's an unsatisfying ending for sure.
And you just use the bomb glue to blow him up? What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so stupid. When Arkham City, Hugo Strange knows your identity and is gonna blackmail the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is serious villainy.
Speaking
right
of
there.
Hugo Strange, you guys watch Gotham?
No,
I
I
did.
never watched. I
Every
watched.
episode.
I cannot recommend Gotham highly enough, man.
I watched the
If you-
One
first
of my
4
favorite pieces of
episodes.
Batman anything.
Yeah, I watched the first 4 episodes of it when it first came out, and I just never could get
Yeah.
into it.
That
If
you
you
gotta get through that
ignore-
first season.
If you ignore the time setting, because no one knows what time it's set in,
Yeah.
and if you ignore the
Anachronistic
Batman
as hell.
lore, like when you watch
Yeah.
2019's Joker, you have to ignore the Batman lore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch Gotham, you have to ignore the Batman lore. And if
Okay.
you enjoy it for what it is, great series.
Yeah, the lore they create, and particularly the relationship between the Penguin and the Riddler. I have never shipped 2 men harder in my fucking life, man. When they're you've seen the last season, man. When they're like hugging each other, and like they have knives against each other's backs, and they're like, "I want you to know that if I am ever going to come for you, you will know it from me." And it's just like they're saying "I love you" in the subtext in this weird fucking psychological way, but
Yeah.
it's so violent. I love that fucking show, man.
Yeah, Jason hasn't seen it. Jason, in this show, I'm gonna spoil it for you because I'm sure you don't fucking
Yeah,
care.
I'll probably.
The Joker, the Riddler and the Penguin have a gay relationship.
No,
And they
they
all-
don't really.
Yes,
No.
they do. Yes,
no.
they.
The
the
Riddler's
Penguin
never
has feelings.
about it.
The Penguin has feelings for the Riddler. The Riddler doesn't share them, and they both want to kill each other still, anyways. It's so confusing. You never know where they stand.
This sounds
It's
like it
great,
might
though.
awaken my sexuality. So-
Yeah.
I tell you what, man.
Talk about
My sexuality. Do what?
talk about your number 2, Mark.
Okay, now this is a game I treasure, man. It was one of the first, like, you guys remember those Pizza Hut demo discs?
Yeah, I do.
PS1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So Pizza Hut used to give out game discs with like it'd have like 12 demos of games on them, and that was where I got my first glimpse of Final Fantasy VIII, and I've loved it ever since, man. And fucking and when I was a kid, it was like, oh shit, they curse in this game, and that was enough to hook me. You know what I mean? But eventually, I fell in love. Like everybody hates the junction system. I think it's cool. I think it makes perfect sense.
Is
I
it
like the story.
is it Final
Huh?
Fantasy 8 or is it Final Fantasy 14 or 2 or 3.5?
It's 8, man. It's 8, and dude, fucking, you want to talk confused titles? Let's talk Kingdom Hearts, man. Holy shit. But no, man, and
364 and a half
I love
days.
the Guardian Forces system, and Squall really awakened my sexuality as a lead character. He's just so brooding and serious, you know, and whiny, and he's got that like romantic essence of Anakin Skywalker in Attack of the Clones. You know what I mean? Where you just want to grab him and shake him.
I hate
Uh,
that wall.
Hate sand.
That
Yeah.
wall makes me sick.
it gets everywhere.
It man. Can you imagine getting sand in the Darth Vader suit though?
Oh, dude.
Like, it's bad enough you got the skin damage to consider, but then it's
Yeah.
like you're never gonna get it out of there. It's gotta take like an hour to get that thing on and
Yeah,
off.
that's gotta feel
I-
crappy.
Yeah.
I really wish that Obi-Wan had done like the Dale Gribble and just pocket sand.
Pocket sand, yeah.
He would have
Well,
won.
he did win, didn't he?
Dude, we need to do a sketch of that. I know somebody with a Darth Vader suit. We could actually do that
Yes.
as a sketch.
I hate
Let's
fucking
fucking
sand.
do it,
Oh,
We-
yeah.
let's hit up Wally to write it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wally's writing a book of sketches. We need to hit him up.
Pocket
Yeah,
sand.
he's great. Fucking Wally's a genius, man.
Yeah, I love Wally, man. He's probably watching right now. I don't know.
Oh, Wally, what up, bro? I just called you a genius. Maybe slap some love back this way.
I love Wally. I miss Wally. I haven't seen him since like January. It's killing me.
Yeah.
What's your number 2, Jason?
My number 2 is the almighty Halo. The first Halo game, man.
Yes.
Okay.
I have so many good, not just the game itself. The game itself was great, but the multiplayer, the
Yeah.
LAN parties. I miss it so much. Those were
It
some
was
of the
something else.
dude, those were some of the best, funniest nights of my life. Playing LAN parties with Halo 1 and all my friends, where we would bring over 4 TVs to each other's house. We would hook up 4 Xboxes to each TV, and there'd be like 16 of us in there throughout a
Bro,
house.
you know it'd be 120 degrees in that fucking room, too.
Oh, dude, we'd go get pizza and beer and chips and just laugh
Hell
and
yeah.
cuss
Beer.
each other out. It
Beer,
was
yeah, I'm
so
sitting
great.
here
you-
like beer. Bro, I was
You're
like,
doing this as a grown man.
I was 12 when Halo came out.
Dude, I was like, 21, 2, 3.
I don't know how
I was
old I was,
24 when Halo came out.
Okay, that I
How
can
old are you?
understand. I mean, he's 51, but
Okay, boomer.
that I can understand because that's the kind of shit I do now. So.
Yeah.
But
you missed it. Those were good days. Those were
Yeah, no,
good
that was
gaming
fun
days.
shit.
well, I did the same shit with Halo. What's the 4th one? It's not
Bro,
called.
if you say
4.
Halo Wars to me, I'm gonna.
No, Halo Reach. Halo Reach.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Reach
yeah.
was good.
I did
Reach
the
was
same
really good.
shit with Halo Reach
Yeah.
Okay.
and Halo 3 because we would build our own maps and then fucking blow each other up.
Yeah.
Dude, I know this shit. When Halo 2 came out and you could dual wield the pistols and shit, that was man, that was a revolutionary
Dude,
fucking
when you
moment
could
in
walk
gaming history
around
for me,
with
dude.
2 needlers, nobody was getting
Mhm.
away from you ever.
On them.
All right, so my number 2 is The Last of Us, and like I said, I wrote this list before I played The Last of Us 2. It might as well take this spot, but I'll go ahead and say that it is The Last of Us because this game came out in 2013. You can already buy a PlayStation Hits version of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It is, as far as zombie games go, it is the most inventive, innovative game since Resident Evil. What other zombie games are there? You know,
All
fucking.
right, you've talked me into it. If it's very Resident Evil 2-ish, I will take a look at it.
It's not because I won't say that it is because the plot isn't as thick as Resident Evil, but no plots are.
Yeah.
Like you pick up a note, you put it in your backpack, and you fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the story, it's story based. The story is so good. The combat mechanics are great. The scavenging, you scavenge for your own supplies and build shit. You scavenge for pills to like upgrade your health and shit like that. And
Oh,
it weaves this story. It's a father and daughter story. This smuggler has to take this kid to this place, and that's all I'll say because you haven't played the game. And along the journey, he doesn't give a fuck about this kid, but he starts to see her as a daughter, and maybe she doesn't see him as a father, but they start to bond, and then that bond it gets elaborated upon.
I like me some elaboration.
It's such a good story, and I promise you, as soon as you play the first one, you're gonna go out and buy the second one because
Alright.
you just cannot leave that story on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What's your number 1, Mark?
Okay, so this is probably the most modern game on my list, and I don't know what to say. I fucking love this game. I can't play any of the games that came before it because this one has spoiled me. Monster Hunter World. Fuck every Monster Hunter game that is not World. I love this shit, man. I play as a fucking a gun lance user, just this big heavy ass weapon, man. You go hunt things that are like 50 times your size. Just feels good. You grind everything you collect in the field. Gives you like shit like later in the hub world, and the worlds are very well connected. These giant monsters feed off of each other. You know what I mean? They can change the environment by like moving through trees and breaking them, things like that. And the ecosystems they've created are just very groundbreaking. And there's this monster in it called the Diablos that really awakened my sexuality. It's got these like long horns, man, and it's like huge, big wings. This thing shoots fire, and you look at it, and you gotta know its dick is like 5 feet long and as thick as my fucking torso, man. And I'd just like to be able to get a good look at it, you know?
I don't even have a retort for that.
I love how you're one of the first guests we've had on that's not a comedian, and you're outshining us right now.
I threw you a bamboozle. Not gonna lie, these are some of my favorite games. I stand by that. But I did go out of my way to create this backdoor into this running joke.
I'm interested in the Monster Hunter series. I've heard so many people talk about it, but I've just never taken the plunge.
Monster Hunter World is like smoking crack, bro.
I wouldn't know.
Like,
That's it? That's the end of the analogy?
No, that's it. Monster Hunter, dude. Oh my god, dude. Because like you go out on a hunt, man, and it takes like 30 fucking minutes to do one thing, but you feel like you actually did something at the end of it because you spend all that time tracking a monster, hunting a monster, and then fucking using shit you get from the monster to make better weapons to go out and kill more monsters, man. It's an endless grind that I cannot get enough of, man.
Awesome. Sounds cool to me. I don't know. Should I play that or Last of Us? Which one of those should I play? Because a brother only has so much money.
Is The Last of Us as sexy as Monster Hunter World?
Yeah, Joel really awakened my sexuality, actually.
Okay, we have a sexual awakening on Joel.
Yeah, okay. I'm really into gruff older men who kill a lot of people now.
Wow.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You got that face.
Thanks. What's your number one, Jason?
My number one favorite game of all time is
which Mega Man?
It's Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo.
I called it wrong.
To this day, the greatest Zelda game, and it's my favorite one. I can go back and play it anytime. I mean, as good as Breath of the Wild is, and how good like Wind Waker was, like I love all the Zelda games, but Link to the Past is just, it's perfection.
How do you feel about the sequel they made? The Mirror Link Between Worlds?
That one I've never played. And that was the one that just came out. Was that the one that came out for the Wii U?
No. It was a 3DS game. But the one they remade that I really want to get was fucking Link's Awakening.
I still need to play that one too.
That has my favorite aesthetic of any game I've ever seen. Everything looks like little plastic toys, man. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that was why I really like the Link to the Past too, because it's kind of got that same sort of aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Link really
has a timeless look.
Link really awakened me sexually, and
Man, the last Legend of Zelda game I played was Twilight Princess for the Wii, and I put it down for a while and then forgot the controls and never finished it.
I actually had that. That was the last game I ever had for the GameCube.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I never played it on the Wii. Yeah, it was great on the GameCube. I liked it there.
I fucking love the GameCube, dude.
Dude,
GameCube, great. An amazing console.
I want to go to some thrift stores and see if I can find a GameCube.
Dude, you need to.
Dude, I mean, it had Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. What more could you possibly want?
Dude, that game awakened my sexuality.
Yeah.
Dude, something about the fucking eggs, right?
Dude, I fuck eggs all the time now, bro.
Okay. Okay, you gotta wash up though.
Yeah, you get sticky.
No, you gotta wash up. But my number one favorite video game of all time, in my opinion, the best video game of all time, instantly classic as soon as you knew it came out. The Elder Scrolls number 5, Skyrim.
Hmm.
It's so good that
Boo.
you boo, sir.
A little boo, just a short boo.
Explain your boo before I explain.
Okay, the leveling system feels like something out of Final Fantasy to me, which is both cool and anachronistic to the Elder Scrolls franchise. There's some mechanics I like better in Oblivion, like the bartering mechanic, like how you influence people's moods and shit. I like that better. I'm not
That's
gonna step
very
all
safe.
over.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna step all over your number one though, man. Keep going.
Yeah. What you're describing, it sounds a lot like Fable. I never played Oblivion, but it sounds a lot like Fable, where you have to get on people's good sides.
Oh, Fable
But,
was a great game too. I loved Fable. Fable 1
yeah,
and
Fable
2.
was pretty groundbreaking.
Fable 3, very good, and 2. But yeah, Skyrim. Skyrim is the only game where I think the main story is the shittiest story. Like, if you play Skyrim and just play through the main story, you haven't played Skyrim. You have to go to the Thieves Guild, the Brotherhood, the Dark Brotherhood. You have to now with the new DLCs, you have to choose if you want to be a werewolf or the vampire. It's so thick. It's so free roam. You play it 100 times in a row.
Are you telling me that Skyrim has forced us to ask ourselves once again whether or not we are Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Yeah.
I've been Jacob since day one. What's up?
Amazing. Team Edward, by the way.
You don't disrespect Jacobs in this house.
Bro, Jacob wanted to marry a baby, bro.
Hey, we all
read
have
the
bad
books.
days.
Let's get into it, man. I've read them. Let's go.
Jacob wanted to eat that baby, but I've never seen Twilight, dude. His name's so I just say I'm with him.
You know what? I feel that. I feel that.
But no, it's like Skyrim. It's just when it came out, it was 2012, and when I was a 12-year-old kid at Christmas every year, I get
You were
sick.
born in 2000?
Yeah. We talked about this. You thought I was
He's like
you thought I was like 50 years old.
I thought you were how old?
You thought I was like 30.
Yeah.
Caleb's
Look,
29.
Caleb's like 45.
Yeah. We'll go with that. We need to get Caleb on this podcast once he gets out of the fucking army.
Oh man, dude, he's gonna come back different. He's gonna have like that 10,000 like miles stare in his eye.
Yeah.
Well, he's in intelligence, so he's gonna come back and not talk about anything.
Yeah.
But no, my grandma in Iowa sends me $50 every year for Christmas.
Nice.
And I remember in 2012 we went to Walmart, and Caleb, my older brother, convinced me to buy Elder Scrolls Skyrim because he wanted to play it, and I was a gullible 12-year-old. And it was the best decision I've ever fucking made in my entire life.
Hell yeah, when I was 12, I got Star Fox Adventures.
When I was 12, I got herpes. But
Jesus. Why are we talking about Skyrim? You're burying the lead here, man.
Yeah.
How'd you get herpes?
Well, it just so happened that Skyrim really awakened my sexuality.
Okay.
Dude, when I was 12, I got Ninja Gaiden for Christmas, and I just beat it last month or like 2 months ago.
I think I remember seeing that.
When I was 12, I actually got diabetes, but
That's no good.
No, I just really like
Christmas
Skyrim.
that year.
You know that Skyrim's good when it gets remade for Xbox One and PS4 as soon as those new consoles come out, and you buy it again. You buy it again.
I do have it on PC and on PS4.
And then you go through and you get all the houses too. I have all the houses in Skyrim.
Yes.
That's it. Rant over.
Playing with mods right now. I'm actually doing a playthrough of Skyrim, man. Some of the mods on the PS4 are great, man. And my shit looks like a Halloween cartoon, man. The way the lighting looks now.
That's so cool.
I never got into the mods. The different stories were enough for me. Because once you play through all the stories and all you have left are the quests that never end, like the Brotherhood quests or whatever.
Yeah.
You might as well hang it up.
Yeah, I think I put roughly about 200 hours into that game before I finally was just like, I need to get rid of this so I can reclaim some of my life back, and sold it.
See, that's how Monster Hunter World has been for me. It's like I know I'm heading down a dark place, man.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting in there, man. Where it's like it's just gonna be Monster Hunter from wake to sleep, you know. Monster Hunter Life chose me.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop playing World of Warcraft, man, because I get
Oh my god.
like RPGs will suck me in and just I can't get out.
I have a friend whose parents divorced because they both played World of Warcraft and made money off of it, but they only had one computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about brings us to the end of the show, boys. Touch Biloxi, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as MushmouthTB. I'm also streaming over on Facebook as Retro Mush. If you'd like to check out my music, you can find all of it for free. A couple hundred songs on there at touchbiloxi.bandcamp.com. And I'd love to thank you guys for having me. This entire interview has really awakened my sexuality.
Well, we appreciate you being here, Mark. You actually awakened our sexuality as well. Before we get out of here, we need to remind the people that August 1st and 2nd, you can watch the Frets for Pets show.
Yes.
You will see me, you will see Jason, you'll see Mark. What the fuck more can you ask for, man? We'll all be performing. We'll all be doing our thing. And also, please, if you're a new watcher, a new listener, a new subscriber, like our Facebook page. Because once we get to 1,000 likes, we're going to do something really cool. And reminder that we get celebrities on this podcast, guys. We're no joke.
Yeah, you guys had Brian O'Halloran, man.
Yes.
Yeah, we got...
That was it, dude.
He wasn't even supposed to be here today. And we got him.
Yeah, no, that's what I told, because I told my mom, because I'm very proud to be on a cool podcast. I was like, I'm on the one the guy that the Clerks guy was on, man. Look at me following in the wake of celebrity.
So, yeah, just like us on Facebook. We're going to get a Patreon up soon so you guys can throw us a little cash so we can afford to keep the lights on the podcast. We're going to make some T-shirts, and I think we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Yes, sir. And if you'd like to follow us on wherever, Twitter, Facebook, at Open Micers, also individually at Jacob C. Craig and at JayFunktastic. So thank you, Mr. Mark Simmons, a.k.a. Touch Biloxi, and thank you for coming on. This has been awesome, and you have awakened my sexuality. That was a fun show, fellas.
Yeah, it was.
Awesome.
And thank you. Rampage.
The video game sexuality thing worked, man, because I was ready to lean into it, whether it did or didn't.
Rampage, you finally made it, but we're almost done.
Man, talk about another game that awakened my sexuality. Rampage.
Oh.
On N64, dude,
Lizzie the Lizard.
Get out of here. Love that game.
Yeah, one of our top fans here on the Twitch channel, I Am the Rampage, joined us here at the very end. I know you were streaming a little while ago, man. I didn't get to go over and watch you play. But
Rampage, what do you stream, man? What's he be doing?
What was he playing? Hollow Knight. He was playing Hollow Knight a little while ago.
Ooh, yo, I fucking love Hollow Knight.
Yeah, Hollow Knight's good.
Hell yeah.
Man, those like roguelike type games, man, those things are... Whew, they're rough, man.
Yeah, man.
You guys ever play? I think it's Stone Soup.
Stone Soup. No. I never played that.
It's like an OG roguelike for PC, but like you just pick a character type and then you start out on floor 1 of a dungeon and you go till you die.
What was the one I was playing? Let me pull up my.
Jamie, can you pull it up, please?
Jamie, pull up my Steam account, please.
I'm surprised you guys didn't ask me if I've done DMT. I have.
You have?
I was ready for that question. I was prepared.
That's why we didn't ask you, Mark, because we knew the answer.
Oh, man, I'm not logged in, and I don't remember my password. So I had one that was a roguelike that I was playing for a while. Now I can't remember the name of it, and it was great, but, man, it was brutal. After about a week, I was just like, I can't play this anymore, man. This is killing me.
I hear you.
But yeah, guys, that was really fun. And I'm going to go so I can get this edited up. And I'm going to stop the stream. Thank you guys for watching us this week. And we'll be back.
Thank you for awakening my sexuality.
Yes.